untying, not cutting, but untying. And so the universe then has no choice. First attribute of the secret place. The secret place is a place of revelation. It makes you free because it awakens you and makes you consciously aware that everything that you thought was holding you is an illusion. There we go. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I am so sorry. Just a technical glitch with the whole computer. It froze up and began to shut down on me. I don't know. But I'm here now, and you're here. So thankfully, we were able to get past that. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for waiting it out with me. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear the music or not. That's where the difficulty began, when I was trying to integrate the music, and then it just froze and shut down. So I had to take it out and restart it and just play the music in the background. And I don't know if you can hear it or not. If you can't, that's okay. But you are here. You can hear the music. Good. Okay. Okay, that's good. I don't know what's going on with the program and why it's acting up like that. I'll have to look into it tomorrow. So anyway, welcome to Emerge and our empowerment session, where we are empowering people on their journey towards spiritual wholeness. And I am glad that you are here. Those of you who have joined me tonight, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and please tag this video and share it on your page. And tag as many people as you can. Those of you watching by YouTube, you know what to do. Click the share button and copy that link and send it out to your group chat, and send it out to your cousin, your mama and them, and your brother and your sister and everybody else, and your auntie, and have them all come join us in this conscious conversation tonight. Let me hush. I was about to say I'm not going to be on very long tonight. But every time I say that, I end up being on here a lot longer than what I intend. So we'll just see how it goes. How about that? We'll just see how it goes, and see where we end up. I'm not even going to put a time limit or anything else like that on there. If you read the topic, the heading for this particular empowerment session, I posed the question, are you paying attention? Because there are so many things that are happening globally right now in this earth realm, that those who are spiritually inclined, spiritually attuned, and aligned with their own divinity and the God and with God, the all of everything, the Creator, then you have to be getting an inclination, a download, or more so an upload from within you that something is awry, something is dramatically turning and shifting, where the world is concerned in the global community. Of course, we want to look at what's happening in Ukraine with Russia and the NATO allies there. It's over there, but also what's been happening in the United States, what's happening in Africa right now, and what's happening within the world of religion, more specifically in Christianity. And we're going to touch on all of these things and see how those seemingly separate events are all tied together, and how we can see that there is a global shifting and evolution that is taking place. I told you some time ago, somewhere around about the last part of last year and the beginning of this year, that we were in the midst of a great awakening, that we are on a trajectory where more and more people are becoming consciously aware of their own spiritual identity, their own divinity, their oneness with God, where they're starting to separate themselves from what no longer works and what no longer serves them, and starting to understand that there is a better, deeper, more intimate and intense way of living a spiritual life and communicating and communing with God, and how we go about being divine beings, housed within a human form, navigating our way through this three-dimensional existence that we call life on earth. That we are starting to understand that how we navigate this life is far different from what we have been taught or told or have been entrenched within our mind or our psyche from our childhood, but that we are starting to understand that there is a more excellent way in order to be able to navigate this life, absent all of the stress and the strain and the anxiety and the fear and the painfulness that so many of us have had to deal with, or the poverty and the hunger and the brokenness and all of these other things that so many people have been plagued with for a large portion of their life, for a long time. And that seemingly religion has helped to perpetuate by creating a victimology that all of us have become all of us at one time rather were subject to. And it's like we're waking up out of a bad dream and starting to realize that victimology, it does not mesh with our true identity. And so tonight I kind of want to look at all of these different areas. I know it's kind of a potpourri of topics, or events, but they all have a singular thread that is running through them. It is an evolution revolution. Ooh, that's pretty good right there. It's an evolution revolution that we are evolving and revolving and elevating and consciously vibrating at a higher and higher level, at a higher frequency. And so as a result of that, coupled with the fact that we are in the age of Aquarius, that is the information the age of knowledge and insight and technological advances, it has made for a very interesting time as developments unfold all around the globe. Now, I've told you before about the pattern of there being shift and darkness, and then new glory or light or understanding and growth. I told you about the thought, word, deed process, our process of creation and creating. And it's important that you understand and hold to that, because everything that is happening in the earth is of our own collective creation. Let me say that again. So I know this might be a little bit tough for some who are who ascribe to certain religious ideologies. And so you might think, well, oh, the devil is busy and demons are working in the prince powers of the air and all that stuff. It's not. Okay? What we are experiencing, we are living within the matrix of our collective conscious creation. Okay? The choices and decisions that mankind, humanity has made, we are seeing the resulting consequence of those choices in the earth. Now, it is not, hold on, it is not as catastrophic or as spooky and scary as some would have you to think. Some have been saying, oh, you see all of this happening in Ukraine and with Putin and the threat of what looks like might be a world war, a nuclear war. It's the Bible fulfilling itself. We're living in the last days. No, we're not. Let me just help you out and let me try and calm some people down, calm your nerves. We are not living in the last days or end times. This is not the end of the world. This is not, Jesus getting ready to crack the sky or any of those other things. Even from just a strictly biblical perspective, there are certain things, if you exegese the text, the scriptures, you will find there are certain things that must take place before what is known as end times could ever begin. And none of those things have taken place. And there are even more that has to take place before we get to the last days, because the last days and the end times, according to the Bible interpretation, it are not the same thing. And those things have not even began to happen. So from that perspective, we are not living in the last days. We are not living in the end times. Jesus is not coming tomorrow. The sky is not going to crack and everybody in the world going to be destroyed and rain down fire and everybody's going to be in torment. Not happening. Okay? So please just eradicate that from your thought and don't let anybody frighten you with that kind of rhetoric. Do you know how many centuries people have been saying the end of the world is happening right now? Oh, we're in the last. Oh, it's about to end right now. Even the people who wrote these passages in what we call the Bible thought that the world was going to end in their lifetime, and it's still here. All of these thousands of years later, those who saw things, at least it is purported that they saw these visions of destruction and ending and all of these things in what is known as the Old Testament, thought that it would unfold in their time. And yet here we are, thousands upon thousands of years later, and it has not taken place. Why? Because what has been purported and has become the rhetoric of the religious community is a vastly misunderstood, misinterpreted passages, and some of it has just been outright fake, phony, and lies that we have appropriated and made it our truth, or they've made it their truth. Okay? And so they have this expectation of doom and gloom and destruction and this evil empire that is below the surface of the earth, that is coming up out of the ground and infecting and polluting the atmosphere and causing mankind to experience untold suffering as a result of humanity's wickedness. Nonsense. I said it. It's nonsense. Okay? Are there some difficult, challenging, hurtful, painful times that are taking place? Absolutely. But are they some mystical, magical, professorial thing that's taking place? Absolutely not. Everything can be traced back to their seed, to its root, or what we call the law of cause and effect. There are seeds of causation for every effect that we are seeing and experiencing right now. The collective consciousness of man throughout the global society has brought about these troubling and trying and difficult times. It is human choices. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It is human choices that have led to these difficult and challenging times. Even with what you see happening in Ukraine, it is an absolutely sad situation, a set of circumstances that are taking their place there. And absolutely, it is terrible to see the kind of destruction that is being heaped upon this particular country. But there are divine laws of the universe that are at play. And the collective consciousness of mankind, along with its interaction with those divine laws that govern the universe, law of cause and effect, the law of sowing and reaping, the law of increase, all of these laws, laws of polarity, all of these laws have been interacted with collectively and individually by mankind, causing a chain reaction throughout the universe within the earth realm. When spirit beings began to combine their collective energy, force, power, or anointing, whatever word you want to use, or spirit, to focus upon any particular thing, then that thing has no choice but to form. We cause matter to come into being. We cause energy to take form and become matter. Are you understanding what I'm saying? You see, in reality, nothing matters. Let me say that again. It's a play on word. Nothing matters. Life has no meaning except for what we give it. We are what give the meaning to our own personal individual life, as well as to life on this planet as a collective. Our collective agreement and consciousness about who we are as a species, as humans, is what has created the meaning to life on this planet, the third rock from the sun. We have given meaning. We have decided this is what it means to be human. This is what it means to live on planet Earth. This is what it means to be of this culture, this nationality, this creed, this religion, this is what it means to be this color. This is what it means. We are the ones who made those decisions. Are you understanding what I'm saying? There was not some universal providence that made all of these decisions. These were human decisions throughout the eons of time on earth that we are experiencing the culminating effect of the choices and decisions made by men. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I saw something at you, and I like you rather. My heart was going out and bleeding and broken by the mass destruction that Ukrainian people are dealing with there under the assault of Russia, who says that they want to denazify the country, drawing up those old references to Hitler and the Nazi regime, which is especially insulting since the president of Ukraine is a Jewish man. But it showed that there is a racial component to what is happening in Ukraine, that he is looking to not only dominate and overthrow the government there, but to annihilate those who he considered to be of an inferior race to those that are in Russia. It's absolutely horrible. It's detestable. It's heartbreaking to see the news reports, the President Zelensky on television nightly almost, making videos, pleading for help and standing with the Ukrainians, and they're ready to fight. And people are saying America needs to do more and the NATO needs to do more and pray for Ukraine. But now we are seeing that in the midst of this tragedy and in the midst of all of these things that are taking place, the Ukrainians themselves are using the same measuring stick that's being used against them, because there is a large population of Africans that are in Ukraine. And more video is emerging from around the country of Ukrainians trying to escape Ukraine into Poland to get to safety, and Africans trying to escape Ukraine to get to Poland and other countries, neighboring countries, to get to safety. And the Ukrainians are preventing the Africans from leaving by imposing the idea that Ukrainians go first because they are the superior people and the Africans can fend for themselves. There's a video just recently posted of an African woman with a baby that couldn't be any more than 2 or 3 months old, trying to get through on the train at the train station to head to Poland. And Ukrainians who are being oppressed themselves now oppressing her and telling her because she is African, she has to stay and wait while other Ukrainians are able to leave. There is another video that's just recently been posted of African men who are trying to bring their women and children across the border, being stopped at gunpoint by other Ukrainian men, saying, no, you stay here while the Ukrainians are able to escape or to leave. Why? Because they view themselves as superior to Africans. So the same racism that's being exercised against them to attempt to create to attempt genocide of the Ukrainian people, they are exercising against the African people. Now, this is coming to light in the midst of a tragedy, but understand, ladies and gentlemen, they didn't just start feeling that way about Africans. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So the laws of the universe says what you send out comes back to you. As you exercise that kind of malicious hatred and malice toward Africans, then that same thing is now visited upon you. Oh my, I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. This is going to make some folk a little upset and might make me a pariah. They may even take my video down, but that's okay. The truth is still the truth. How can you now be pleading for the assistance of the world because this maniac is attacking you because he sees you and views you as an inferior race and not a country at all, and then you turn around and do the same thing to the African people who are living in your country, trying to escape and trying to survive just like you are. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you paying attention to what is happening? If you pay attention, you see the common threads that are running through, and you see the laws of the universe that govern the spirit world of the kingdom of God at work, even in some of the most challenging, trying, and horrific circumstances. It's not a devil, it's not a demon, it's not a spirit. It is the heart of humans and their choices and decisions, their prejudices, their racism that is causing the chain effect. One thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing, leads to another thing, leads to another thing. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Yes, I hope you are. I hope you are. And I hope that you are paying attention to what is happening. Pay attention to how even here in our own country, the United States now is beginning to open doors like it did for the Afghan people to bring them into the United States, those Ukrainians that are running for their life, to allow them safe passage into the United States. Yet at the same time, Haitians are beaten with whips from men on horseback and made to leave and go back or deported immediately. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That those of Hispanic descent are locked in cages at the border. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Black and brown people are not given the same deference or the same care or the same consideration as are given to the Ukrainians and given to the Afghanis. Please understand. Please, please, please understand that the United States government is not operating out of the goodness of its heart, but out of what they see as what best serves them. Please understand this. And so you see this imbalance here, where you are choosing one over another. And so we will allow these while we reject those. And please understand, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not understood it before, racism is not just an American problem. It is a global epidemic. I will say it again. Racism is not just an American problem. It is a global epidemic. People of color, especially black people, people of African descent, are discriminated against all around the globe, in every country, in every nation. Are you understanding what I am saying? Because Africa is the cradle of civilization. All humanity as we know it in this three-dimensional existence in the earth spawned out of Africa. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? And I'm not preaching a neo revolutionary African nationalist ideology. I'm just speaking. I'm presenting you the facts for your observation and consideration. I'm just asking, are you paying attention to what is happening? You cannot become so heavenly minded that you are no earthly good, that you become blind to what is happening around you. And you cannot spookify everything. Lord have mercy, that's not even a word. I just made it up. Put that one in the Isaac Miles dictionary. Spookify. There's a big difference between being spiritual and being spooky. And we have the tendency to spookify everything and make everything, because we have that victim consciousness. So we don't want to take responsibility. So it's much easier to blame a devil or a demon or a spirit or a hank or a curse or witchcraft or something external, rather than looking inward at the heart of mankind. Now, why is all of this happening? And what do we do? Do we resist? Do we fight? Do we go to war? No, because what you resist persists. What we do is we observe from a higher perspective, from a higher perception, so that we're able to see clearly what is happening and begin to make different choices. It's not a war to be fought. There's just a shifting in the mind that has to take place. But if there had not been these challenges, these catastrophes, these occurrences taking place, then we wouldn't be consciously aware of the need for a different choice or a different mindset, for an elevation of consciousness. We would just view it as normal. We would view that everything's okay because it's not happening in my immediate circle. But when you began to be consciously aware of what's happening around the world in the collective, you begin to understand and see the choices that are being made, and how there is a need, a desperate need for us as a species, as humanity, to awaken and begin to make different choices. Are you understanding what I'm saying? To make different choices, to choose from the space of love and joy and peace and truth, to choose from love, joy, and truth, the substratum of all existence. Love, joy, and truth, the substratum and the essence of our divinity. Love, joy, and truth. To choose from those places and then decide who we are and what works and what does not work. You see, we have, as a society, verbalized and said, this is what we desire, this is who we desire to be, this is what we desire to have in our human existence. But then we make choices that are antithetical to that which we say we desire. It's a cognitive dissonance, where we make choices and decisions that are completely antithetical to that which we say we desire. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's like a person, let me break it down on very simplistic terms. It's like a person who says, my desire is to lose weight, but they continue to choose cookies and ice cream and candies and Snicker bars and gummy bears and y'all not hear me and buffets and you are making choices that are antithetical to that which you say you desire. You say you desire to lose the weight, but you are making choices that don't align themselves with what it is that you desire. Now, then how do I get to what I desire? I have to start making different choices. I have to start choosing or making choices that align itself with the thing that I say I desire. You say you desire to get out of the city or place where you live, yet you keep making choices that are antithetical to your movement. And so you have, for year after year, said, man, I'm sick of this place. Oh, if I could ever get out of this place. Oh, I don't want to live here no more. And year and years go by, and you're still in the same place, spouting that same rhetoric because your choices don't align itself with your stated desire. Well, humanity has said that we desire peace, that we desire a world of love and peace and harmony. We desire a place where all men are, quote unquote, created equal. Yet we make choices and decisions as a collective society that is antithetical to bringing that to pass. And so we have wars, and we have racism, and we have discrimination, and redlining. We have all of these things happening because we make choices that are antithetical to what our stated desire is. And an awakening that is taking place through humanity is now a generation of people who are starting to realize we have to start making different choices. They may be hard choices and difficult choices at first. They may be choices that upset the equilibrium and may seem a bit chaotic and maybe even create some anarchy at the moment, but we have to make different choices if we're going to get a different result. Like a computer, garbage in, then garbage out. You can't plant watermelon seeds and get bananas. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So you cannot sow hatred and get love. You cannot sow racism and get harmony and unity and equality. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? And so you can't turn around with one face and say we're under attack by Putin and his regime, have mercy on us, and then have no mercy for the African people who are in just as much danger, and yet you have no mercy on them and leave them to their own devices. Are you understanding me? Are you understanding what I'm saying? I know this is a little bit tough to swallow, to take in, but I'm telling you, our race as a species, as spirits being human, it is awakening. A great deal of us, many of us are awakening and recognizing we have to make different choices. We say we want clean water, clean air, yet we make choices that are antithetical to having clean water and air. We say that we want healthy food, and yet we fill the ground with chemicals, and then we fill the animals that eat from the ground with chemicals, and then slaughter those animals and put them on our table and consume them, not recognizing that the carcinogenic properties of those poisons are going right into our human system. We'll make choices that are antithetical to that which we say that we desire. We say we want a place where everyone can prosper and capitalism that keeps that promotes the higher ups while keeping those on the lower realm down, and the lower realm make the rich get richer while the poor get poorer. And so we have this idea of ownership. And ladies and gentlemen, in highly evolved societies in other dimensions and on other planets, no one owns anything. The idea of ownership is preposterous because they understand that they all are the all of everything. Everything. So they share everything equally. There is no idea of ownership. It's only on our three-dimensional existence called Earth where we take on this idea of ownership engendered by capitalism that then now creates these separations within society, the haves and the have-nots. And everyone is survival of the fittest. Everyone is trying to take care, looking out for number one, not recognizing that the number two, the person you are calling number two, is just another aspect of you. So when you harm them, you are harming yourself. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So there is, and I hope that you are joining and you are becoming a part of that nation or army. And I don't want to use the term army because it's not an army. That conglomerate or consortium of people who are awakening to the fact that we have to, as individuals and then as a collective, begin to make better choices, different choices that best serve ourselves and humanity as a whole. If we are going to survive as a species, if this planet is going to survive, then we have to begin to make choices that align itself with the survival of the planet and the survival of humanity as a species. We have to begin to make those choices. And the only way that can become a global phenomenon, is those of us who are awakening now begin to individually make better choices and then choose to begin to teach our children and those that are coming up behind us these truths before they become entrenched in the humanistic, religious, dogmatic, legalistic, nationalist ideologies that was entrenched and ingrained in all of us as we were coming up. You see how much damage and how far behind in the game you were by religion, culture, family, friends, and all of that indoctrination. Then now, don't neglect to teach our children while they are young, because here's the thing: when a child learns a particular or shapes a particular mindset at its youth, it carries on over into their adulthood. And they don't listen. Children come into this three-dimensional existence innocent. They don't recognize a thing as right or wrong until some grown person starts to tell them this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, this is holy, this is evil, until somebody starts telling them that. Up until then, they are innocent and they are open to explore and express and experience themselves in the earth. Then we burden them with these ideologies and these these erroneous ideas that have been entrenched within us because we were brought up in dysfunction. So if we're going to create a global movement that will bring about a collective shift in consciousness, then those of us who are consciously awakened now have to begin to now speak life into our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. Are you understanding? And making sure that they have a good working level understanding. The wheels of change for a collective global society turn what we think as slowly, but they do turn surely if we cause them, because we hold the crane in our hand that turns the wheel. Please hear what I just said. We hold the crane in our hand that the crank that turns the wheel. Not the crane, the crank. We hold the crank in our hand that turns the wheel. Consciousness, spirituality is not just about manifesting wealth and manifesting houses, cars, and land. It's not about manifesting, just happiness and zippity-doo-dah day for yourself. It is understanding the global responsibility that we have as a part of the whole, as an individuation of the whole divine being, to bring about global change so we can raise the consciousness of our society, and we too can become highly evolved beings as exist in other dimensions and across the multiverse. Did you hear what I just said? This life has no meaning except what we give it. Nothing matters until we decide it does. Nothing matters until we decide it does. This life has no meaning except the one we give it. We get to decide what this life means. Life is not happening to you. Life is here for you to create, to cultivate, to experience, and to explore. Let me say that again. Life is not happening to you. You are not the victim of fate. You are not the victim of some external force called a demon, a devil, a hank, a spirit of witchcraft, voodoo, or any of the other things. And I hate that those are even lumped in, because voodoo and hoodoo is a religion just like Christianity, Catholicism, and Hinduism and Buddhism. But none of these things are externally coming and happening at you. Life is here for you and I, to create, to cultivate, to experience, to explore as individuals and as a collective society, where 2 or 3 come together in my name. God is in the midst. Creativity blossoms and blooms. Are you understanding what I'm saying? As we combine our collective energy, force, power, spirit, anointing, use whatever word you choose, then we're able to create the kind of experience in the earth that we want to have. 1 can chase 1,000. 2 put 10,000 to flight. That has nothing to do with demons, devils, or spirits or anything. It's an allegory saying that when you have more than one, you up the power of the intensity of the power that is present. 2 are better than 1. Threefold cord is not easily broken. All of these are illuminating the same thing. praying the power of unity, the power of oneness. The moment that we recognize that we are not separate, when we escape the illusion and delusion of separation and recognize that we are all one with each other and literally one with God, then it changes our decision making, it changes our perspective, it changes our perception, and we start to deal with each other differently and deal with life differently, and we give life a new meaning. Are you understanding me tonight? And I know we normally have a more robust conversation and I'm taking questions and answering comments, but tonight I'm just trying to give some information. And I promise you I'll take your questions in the next empowerment session, but I'm trying to get a message across to you. I want to know, are you paying attention? Are you paying attention to what's happening all around you, in your life individually, in the global society, in your community, in your city, in your state? Are you paying attention? Because you are a game changer. You are a key player, an impact player wherever you are. Your choices and decisions matter. They matter. And you have to mature to the place where you stop just thinking about me and mine and start to think about we and our. Beyond just those who you call your blood relatives, because we are all your relatives. We are all one body, knitly joined together. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you tonight? I pray that it's registering. I pray that you are hearing me. I pray that you are hearing me, and I pray that you are opening your eyes, that you are spending time in intentional, deliberate meditation, opening your consciousness, sitting quietly with your soul and listening as the Spirit reverberates through your soul, entering your, piercing your conscious mind with new light, understanding, wisdom, insight, oversight within you that goes beyond the borders of your own individuation, but sees the collective, sees the process of unfolding. That's it. That's all I had to say tonight. That's all I had to say. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Marinate on that. I want you to marinate on it. I want you to think about what I've said. I want you to go back and listen to this empowerment session again and again and again. It'll stay on my Facebook page. It'll stay on the YouTube page. I want you to take time and listen to it again and again and again. I know it's an hour long, but take the time and listen. Listen while you're driving. Listen while you're doing the laundry or cooking dinner. Put your earbuds in and just listen to it again and again, because each time you listen to it, you're going to get something different from it, and the light's going to come on inside of your mind. We are a part of the global shift, the global change. You and I, we are a part of that voice that is beckoning all of humanity to a higher consciousness, a higher vibration, saying, come up hither. I want you to listen. All right. I'm done. You guys have a wonderful, outstanding night. I'll come back on tomorrow night and continue our conversation that we were having before. But tonight I felt the urgency to really deal with this particular issue tonight. This clarion call is for you that tuned in. That's why there's so many of you that are on tonight. We normally have maybe 6 or 7. There's a whole bunch more of you on tonight. Double the number. Should be triple the number. But I want you to hear the clarion call. I want you to hear it, consider it, look over it again and again. All right. You guys have a good night. I love you.